الحمد لله الذي خلق السماوات والأرض وجعل الظلمات والنور ثم الذين كفروا بربهم يعدلون. الحمد لله الذي أنزل على عبده الكتاب ولم يجعل له عوجا. الحمد لله الذي هدانا لهذا وما كنا لنهتدي لولا أن هدانا الله لقد جاءت رسل ربنا بالحق. We're now on page 10. Consists of 8 ayat from Surah Al-Baqarah. And with that, with completing this page, inshallah, we have completed half of a juz. Most juz in the Quran consists of 20 pages, a 30th. It's 20 pages. So we've completed half of a 30th. Now, we're at the ayah where Allah Ta'ala says, Inna alladhina amanu. Indeed, those who believe. Anytime those who believe is used in the Quran, it's talking about Muslims. وَالَّذِينَ هَادُوا. الَّذِينَ هَادُوا, Jews. Ahlul Kitab, the people of the book, means Jews and Christians. Ahlul Kitab, the people of the book. Why? Because in our deen, we believe in all of the books that were sent down. We don't deny the gospel that was given to Isa, alayhi salam, but like we said before, we deny the distortions, the additions and the subtraction. But the fact that he was given a pure, pristine revelation from the Lord of the worlds, that he spoke in the cradle, that he, by the permission of Allah, that he cured the leper, the blind, so forth and so on by the permission of Allah. We acknowledge all of that, but we don't worship him. We don't worship him. We worship the one that sent him, the one that created him, the one that gave him the gospel. Now, Inna alladhina amanu walladhina hadu, Jews, wan-nasara, Nasara, Christians, was-sabi'in. And this is groups from different prophets or followers of other prophets. Another thing is said the people that were after Ibrahim alayhi salam. Wallahu a'la wa a'lam, and Allah knows best. Man amana billahi, whoever believes in Allah, wal yawm al-akhir, and the last day, the day of judgment, wa amila salihah, and did righteous deeds, falahu, so for him, falahum, I'm sorry, so for them, ajruhum is their reward, inda rabbihim, with their Lord. Wala khawfun alayhim, they will have no fear upon them. Wala hum yahzanun, nor will they be sad. This ayah has caused problems for those who do not have a firm understanding of Islam, for those who don't understand that the Qur'an is muhayminan, above, as well as an abrogation to previous revelation. So when this kind of verse comes, indeed those who believe, the Muslims, وَالَّذِينَ هَادُوا, and the Jews, وَالنَّصَارَى, and the Christians, وَالصَّابِئِينَ, and those who were followers of other prophets, مَنْ آمَنَ بِاللَّهِ, whoever believes in Allah, وَالْيَوْمِ الْآخِرِ, and the day of judgment, وَعَمِلَ صَالِحًا, and did righteous deeds, فَلَهُمْ أَجْرُهُمْ عِنْدَ رَبِّهِمْ, so they have their reward with their Lord, وَلَا خَوْفٌ عَلَيْهِمْ, and they will have no fear for a bad outcome on the day of judgment. وَلَا هُمْ يَحْزَنُونَ, nor will they be sad about things that passed them by in the previous world. So people have understood this ayah that it doesn't matter what your religion is. It says, indeed, those who believe, the Jews, the Christians, whoever, and those who follow other prophets, whoever believes in Allah on the day of judgment and does righteous deeds, they will have the reward with their Lord. I mean, this is what the verse clearly says. So, does it matter what your religion is?
Yes.
Indeed, those who believe, the Jews, the Christians, those who follow other prophets, whoever believes in Allah and the last day and does righteous deeds, they will have the reward of their Lord. They would have no fear. So,
We're not talking about those who were upon the correct Qira of what was sent down to them.
yes.
But in Surah Al-Ma'idah,
Mm-hmm.
Allah says, today I have perfected your religion.
Mm-hmm.
Islam for you
Mm-hmm.
as your religion.
I don't see it as a contradiction. I've chosen for you, Islam is your religion. Okay, that's true. And those who believe in the Jews and the Christians and whoever believes in Allah on the last day also.
Is it also pertaining to their time period?
It's pertaining to their time period. But it's in the Qur'an, in our time period.
But Allah in the Quran has given us examples of the past as well. That's what it was to come. Since we have 2 books.
So Allah's given us
Changes. Right, let's leave that up. That's what the first I was referring to.
what?
Is that when he said when they're true books?
They're true books. Mm-hmm. Okay, I agree. But I'm talking about this verse. And those who believe, the Jews, the Christians, those who follow other prophets, whoever believes in Allah on the last day and does righteous deeds, they will have the reward with their Lord. They will have no fear, nor will they grieve. So it doesn't matter what your religion is. Anyone? I heard somebody online speaking.
No. Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam. Abu Rumaysa.
So
Salam.
now with this, it's referring to those who follow their prophet in their time period. And also we know that the righteous deed have conditions to them. Follow the messenger, it has to be upon the sunnah and has to have ikhlas. And then with the coming of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, his legislation abrogated everything that came before him. Allah mentioned he's the seal of the prophets of the messenger. And whoever believes in him, whether he's a Jew or Christian, ayat, whoever from the Jews or the Christians hears about him, I think it's a hadith, and he doesn't believe him, he'll be one of the dwellers of the fire.
No. Okay, I agree. I understand what you're saying. That's what Haq was saying also. But what I'm saying is that, okay, based on this verse, doesn't matter what religion you follow. Does it still matter? And why does it matter? The answer is in the verse.
One more time.
Allah said, indeed, those who believe, the Muslims, وَالَّذِينَ هَادُوا, the Jews, and the Christians, and those who follow other prophets, whoever believes in Allah on the last day and does righteous deeds, they will have their reward with their Lord, and there will be no fear upon them, nor will they grieve. So it doesn't matter.
I believe it's the last part.
Which part?
Section when he's saying whoever believes in like what was sent to them from their prophets, if they believe in those things that were sent to them for them during their time period, then their promises with the law, what the law promised them from their books.
So Abdul Haq is saying it means those who believed during the time. So you're talking about the Jews during the time of Moses.
And those who
I'm asking you.
Yes, and
You're saying this is referring to the Jews during the time of Moses.
And also the ones who didn't go with the distortions that made.
And didn't go with the distortion. So we're talking about the Christians during the time of Jesus.
No.
Okay. So is it also talking about the Muslims during the time of Muhammad?
Have to be.
So then what about today?
They have to follow the Prophet. They said that in the Qur'an.
So, but my question is this. So if these verses are referring to those who followed those prophets during the time of those prophets, it started off with the Muslims. So it's only talking about, if it's only talking about the Jews and Christians during that time of their prophets, then it started off with the Muslims. So it's only talking about the Muslims during the time of their prophet, right? No? Okay.
Can you tell me where this ayat was sent down?
This ayat was sent down to Medina. Surah Al-Baqarah is a Surah Medina.
So there were Jews and Christians at that time in that area. So this was sent down so that because if you believe in what's in your books, then you know the coming of Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam.
Okay.
So then, from my understanding, is those who truly believe did accept this, come to Islam.
Okay.
When the message was received.
So our brother Abdul Haq, he asked, where was this chapter revealed? So it was revealed in Al-Medina. He said, so then it was Jews and Christians in Medina. So finish your explanation, please. What did you say?
So if they had revelation of the coming.
So in their book, they had revelation that told them about the coming of the Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam.
And if they truly believed, then they would have come also into the
So if they truly believed in their revelation, then they would also what? Come and follow Islam. And this is the answer. This is the answer. Why? Because like you said, at the end, I was waiting for you to say it. Allah said, whoever believed in Allah in the last day. So now we say, yeah, we believe that Jews are going to be in heaven. We believe that Christians are going to be in heaven. Not according to today's interpretation, according to whoever was a follower of Christ during his time and a believer in him during his time. Whoever was everything that you said, and then you summed it up finally. So however was a follower of Moses during his time. And then Moses and Jesus, both of them said what? About someone that's going to come later on. In the Old Testament, it still says there's going to be a prophet unlike to Moses. Like Moses. Jesus wasn't anything like Moses. Nor was Jonah. Those who came after Moses, nobody was exactly like him that was exiled and then came back and then got victory over his enemy and married and had children and all of that. No one's like unto Moses more than the Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. So a prophet unlike to Moses. That Jesus, according to even today's translations of versions of the Bible, it says that he used to say that I must go. If I don't go, the comforter cannot come. He was told about the comforter, somebody coming after him. And like that. And he said there will come one, I believe it's in Romans, he said that there will come one who will uphold the law and one who will confirm the law. And he will bowing down on his face, worship the Lord. And who did that after Jesus? But the Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu bowing down on his face, prostrating, worship his Lord. That's how it was translated. So yes, those who believe during the time of Musa, Isa, whoever believed in Allah in the last day. So now, take a person who would claim, it doesn't matter what religion you follow, as long as we all believe in God. And then you ask them, oh, you believe in Allah? And see how they react. See how they react. Say, well, if you believe in our book, because see, we follow the original message of all of those prophets. One of the main and most important things in the Bible is what? The statement in the Old Testament. Thou shalt not make any graven images in the likeness of anything in the heavens above, or anything on the earth below, or anything in the water below the earth. Thou shalt not bow down to them, nor worship them, for the Lord thy God is a jealous God. So then what are the statues and the pictures and all of that? So we stick to that. Exodus, Moses and Aaron being chased. What did it say? And Moses and Aaron went into a tent after they had some reprieve from being chased, went into a tent, washed their face, hands, and feet, anointed their beards with frankincense oil, and then they, bowing down on their face, worshiped God. Who does that? Who does that? Matthews, when the multitudes went apart, Jesus went atop to the mountain and fell on his face and prayed. Now, this is a bad translation, right? They could have just said prostrating. Why are they avoiding? It's a word that describes praying on your face. Prostration. They say, just say prostrate. Why would you say fell on his face? It's a very bad translation. That sounds like that's something where we say an intelligent human being would fall on their face to pray. No, say prostrated. He placed his face in his nose in his forehead, and he prostrated. You're going to find prostration throughout the Bible as describing people who prayed. Abraham and Jacob, and you find so many prostrations in the Bible, and you find so many times what? Them washing their face, hands, and feet, them putting on frankincense oils and myrrh and other oils like that. Only people we know that do things like that are the Muslims, with that detail. So now we carried on that. If you look at many of the drawings, we don't believe these are how the prophets actually look, but we look at the drawings, even the whitewash drawings, they're supposed to be prophets of the past. What do they have on? Robes, big beards. The women are all covered. They're amazed at the way that a Muslim woman dress, but then the nuns dress the same way. We say, why do the nuns dress that way? Oh no, they're women of God. Okay, so the Muslim women are what? Why the same clothing the Muslim women wear, they're oppressed. The nuns wear it, they're women of God. Same dress. Same dress.
Contradiction.
Yeah. Yeah.
Saying that's a woman of God, so your women that are with you aren't women of God.
Yeah. Right. So whoever believes in Allah on the last day, but that's the condition. They have to believe in Allah. In order to believe in Allah, you have to believe in all the revelation He says down. So if they stop at the Torah, like the Jews did, and they don't believe in the gospel of Jesus, then you don't believe in Allah, because Allah did send Jesus. And if they stop at the gospel of Jesus and they don't believe in the Qur'an, then you don't believe in Allah, because Allah did send the Qur'an. Just like the prophecy that was held in the Bible that's true, some of the truth that's left, it said there will bear witness to all. Who bears witness that all of the prophets, what religion bears witness that all of the prophets came with the truth other than this? That all of them were true and all of them were servants of their Lord except for Islam. So whoever believes in Allah on the last day, so they have to believe in all of the books, all of the prophets. So if they stop us at Moses and say, no, we don't believe in Jesus, then they're not a believer. If they stop at Jesus and say, no, we believe in Muhammad, then they're not a believer. So it's the condition, whoever believes in Allah in the last day and do righteous deeds, they will have the reward with their Lord. There'll be no fear upon them, nor will they grieve. So if a person is a good Christian, he will become a Muslim, because he'll follow the revelation all the way through. If a person is a good Jew, he will become a Muslim. Nah. Even if we look at it, Christian, to the word, they say the word Christian means Christ-like. If we just say, okay, show me one place in the Bible, Old or New Testament, from beginning to end, show me one place where Jesus used the word Christian.
Mockery term.
Huh?
Mockery.
But I'm saying he never used the word himself. He never said, "You're a Christian. If you follow me, you're a Christian." He never used the word Christian. He never said you have to be Christians. But he submitted. That's what a Muslim is, one who submits his will to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So anytime and place, whoever submits to Allah, based on the revelation that's present at the time and the prophet who's preaching, can be a Muslim, but you can't be a Christian. If your only way to go to heaven is through Christ, then what about everybody who came before him? Where they going? Where the people who came before Christ, where they go? Because only the way, I am the way, the verses they made up, he said, I am the way, and you can't get to the Father except through me. So now everybody that came before, Moses was before Jesus, where's he going? He wasn't Christian because he wasn't Christ-like, he was before Christ. Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, Ezekiel, where they going? They weren't Christ-like. It's a problem. So this verse, you may run into it in the future. People are going to say, it doesn't matter what religion you have. Allah said, indeed, those who believe, the Jews, the Christians, and those who follow other prophets, whoever believes in Allah on the last day and do righteous deeds, they will have no fear, they will have the reward with their Lord, no fear, no good. They try to use this verse to do that. You ever see that bumper sticker coexist, the crescent and the cross and all of that mixed pot together? Wahdatul Adyan. It's called the unification of religions. There's 6 verses in the Qur'an that shows that it's impossible to have a unification of religion. We cannot unite in religion. 6 verses. And I know everybody in here except for our new brother, DJ. Well, I don't know what he's doing, when he's alone. But I know everybody in here knows these 6 verses too. 6 verses that shows that there's no way we can have unite the religion, Jews coexist, the crescent, the cross, everybody mixed together. Huh? That's 7.
But it's 6 in there.
And 6 in there, right? It's only 6 verses. It's a sword that's only 6 verses long.
Assalamualaikum.
Kafirun. He beat you to it. I'm bad. He beat you.
Nah.
He beat you to it, man. So, I ain't gonna sit down. He beat you to it. Nah, Surah Al-Kafirun. 6 verses. Say, oh, you who disbelieve. I don't worship what you worship. Nor do you worship what I worship. Nor do I worship what you worship. It's not redundant, it's emphasis. Nor do you worship what I worship. Nor would I worship what you have been wanting to worship. You have your religion and I have my religion. It doesn't mean that we're disrespectful, belligerent, and arrogant and like that. But we affirm we're different. We are not the same. We believe in every revelation that was sent down. We believe in every prophet that was sent. We believe that that is the way a religion is supposed to be practiced. We believe that the Qur'an is the last book and that Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is the last prophet and messenger. We're not the same. We're not. We're not. No. So we can't mix. We can't mix. Because we're going to worship Allah, the unseen creator of everything that exists. They're going to, depending on what denomination they are, they're going to be worshiping something created. Nah.
Assalamualaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam.
Is this one of the reasons? Is that verse one of the something that the deviants use as an excuse to create the Abrahamic faith, where they united all the religions?
Yeah. That's exactly what they use that for. That's exactly one of the, they use that for, and it is not approved for them. And anytime you look at the people of misguidance, most of the time, I want to say 99.99% of the time, that which they're using is actually against them. But you just got to listen to, what did he say? What verse is that again? Say it again. Do you hear what you're saying? Allah said, indeed, those who believe, the Jews, the Christians, those who follow other prophets, whoever believed in Allah on the last day and did righteous deeds, they will have their reward from their Lord. No fear will be upon them, nor will they grieve. They say, yes, it doesn't matter what your religion is. Whoever believes in Allah in the last day, they don't believe in Allah on the last day. No, as long as you believe in, they agnostics are believers. As long as you believe in one God. No, that's not what Allah said. You have to believe in Allah the way Allah said believe in Him. Not just, I believe it's one God. No, that's not sufficient. No, you have to believe in Allah the way Allah Ta'ala ordered us to believe in Him, subhanahu wa ta'ala. After that, the next ayah, Allah says, وَإِذْ أَخَذْنَا مِيثَاقَكُمْ وَرَفَعْنَا فَوْقَكُمُ الطُّورَ خُذُوا مَا آتَيْنَاكُمْ بِقُوَّةٍ وَاذْكُرُوا مَا فِيهِ لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَّقُونَ. Allah said, and when we took the covenant from you, remember, Surah Al-Baqarah is mainly talking about Bani Israel, the mistakes they made, how they kept breaking that covenant. And when we took your covenant and we raised above you the mountain of Tur, and we said, take what He was giving you with strength. With strength. This is very important. Allah Ta'ala said the same thing to Yahya. Take this book with strength. Likewise. Now, خذ الكتاب بقوة يحيى and Musa عليه السلام. خذها بقوة وأمر قومك يأخذ بأحسنها. Take the book with strength and order your people to take the best of it. So this shows that in order to be, and this inshallah, this will give us an encouragement. In order to be religious, it takes strength. Allah said, خُذُوا مَا آتَيْنَاكُمْ بِقُوَّةٍ. It's going to take strength. It's not going to be easy. It's not going to be simple. It's nothing. Most things are not going to agree with what you're doing. Look at what we're living in today. And we're fighting to remain. We're not even like out preaching and trying to like convert people. We're just trying to remain religious within ourselves and look at the battle. Imagine if we were really active in dawah out in the streets, trying to convert and guide people. We're in safety. And look at just by going out, having to go to work, going to the market, going here, going there. So it takes strength. It's not easy. It's not easy. It takes strength. So Allah Ta'ala told them, but they leaned towards their weak side. وَإِذْ أَخَذْنَا مِيثَاقَكُمْ, we took your covenant, and likewise we have shahada, we have a covenant. وَرَفَعْنَا فَوْقَكُمُ الطُّورَ خُذُوا مَا آتَيْنَاكُمْ بِقُوَّةٍ وَاذْكُرُوا مَا فِيهِ, and remember what is in it. This is the importance of going over Qur'an, going over Tafseer. Allah told them to do the same thing with the Torah. Take it with strength and remember what's in it. Review it, go over it. Why? Because you forget. You become complacent. No. And وَاذْكُرُوا مَا فِيهِ, so that perhaps you will be conscious of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The ulama mentioned in this Tafseer, إِنَّ مَنْ آمَنَ مِنْ هَذِهِ الْأُمَّةِ, indeed those who believe from this ummah. وَكَذَلِكَ مَنْ آمَنَ مِنَ الْأُمَّةِ الْمَاضِيَةِ قبل بعثة محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم. Likewise, those who believe from the past nations before the Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم was sent, من يهود والنصارى, from the Jews and the Christians, والصابئة, and the صابئة, وهم طائفة من أتباع بعض الأنبياء من تحقق فيهم الإيمان بالله وباليوم الآخر. And they are followers of some of the prophets. So whoever the true iman was established in Allah and in the day of judgment, فَلَهُمْ ثَوَابُهُمْ عِنْدَ رَبِّهِمْ, and so they will have their reward with their Lord. وَلَا خَوْفٌ عَلَيْهِمْ مِمَّا يَسْتَقْبِلُونَهُ, so they will have no fear about that which is coming forward for them in the future. وَلَا يَحْزَنُونَ عَلَى مَا فَاتَهُمْ مِنَ الدُّنْيَا, nor will they have any sadness because that which they missed out on in the dunya. وَاذْكُرُوا مَا أَخَذْنَا عَلَيْكُمْ مِنَ الْعَهْدِ الْمُؤَكِّدِ, and remember that we took upon you a firm covenant, مِنَ الْإِيمَانِ بِاللَّهِ وَرُسُلِهِ, that you will believe in Allah and His messengers. Messengers. I think we just read the other day, كذبت المدين المرسلون. It said that Shu'aib was sent to Midian. The verse said, I believe other authority he read it, said that Midian disbelieved in the messengers. It came plural, but they were only sent Shu'aib. What? It shows that if you disbelieve in one, you disbelieve in all of them. Because Allah said, كذبت مدين المرسلين, that they denied, they disbelieved in the messengers, but they were only sent one. So if you believe in one, you have to believe in all of them. If you disbelieve in one, you've disbelieved in all of them. In Surah Nisa, Allah said, إِنَّ الَّذِينَ يَكْفُرُونَ بِاللَّهِ وَرُسُلِهِ, indeed those who disbelieve in Allah and His messengers, وَيُرِيدُونَ أَن يُفَرِّقُوا بَيْنَ اللَّهِ وَرُسُلِهِ, and they want to divide between Allah and His messengers. وَيَقُولُونَ نُؤْمِنُ بِبَعْضٍ وَنَكْفُرُ بِبَعْضٍ, and they say we believe in some and we disbelieve in others. وَيُرِيدُونَ أَن يَتَّخِذُوا بَيْنَ ذَلِكَ سَبِيلًا, and they want to take a path in between like that. Allah said, أُولَٰئِكَ هُمُ الْكَافِرُونَ حَقًّا. Allah Ta'ala said, these are the real disbelievers. وَأَعْتَدْنَا لِلْكَافِرِينَ عَذَابًا عَظِيمًا, and we have prepared for the disbelievers a severe punishment. Now, وَاذْكُرُوا, we took this firm covenant that you believe in Allah and His messengers. وَرَفَعْنَا الْجَبَلَ فَوْقَكُمْ تَخْوِيفًا لَكُمْ وَتَحْذِيرًا عَفْوًا مَنْ تَرَكَ الْعَمَلَ بِالْعَهْدِ, and then we raised this high mountain above you in order to fear you and warn that if and warn anyone who would abandon acting according to this covenant. آمِنِينَ لَكُمْ بِأَخْذِ مَا أَنزَلْنَا عَلَيْكُمْ مِنَ التَّوْرَاةِ بِجَدٍّ وَاجْتِهَادٍ. So, and ordering you that you should take a hold of that which was set down upon you from the Torah, with seriousness and striving and diligence, دون تهاون وكسل, without taking it lightly or being neglectful and lazy. واحفظوا ما فيه تدبره وتدبره, and memorize what is in it and ponder over it. لعلكم بفعل ذلك تتقون عذاب الله تعالى. Perhaps you, by doing this action, will have consciousness and fear and guard yourselves from the punishment of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Nah. So tadabbur is important. Pondering over the ayat. And there's a lot of reward for just reciting the Quran without memorization. Then there's strong and stronger reward for actually memorizing it. But the highest reward, and then let's do it like this. Okay, reciting the Quran. A lot of rewards in it. Memorizing it. The rewards just increase. Reciting it and memorizing it while pondering over it. The reward now is going to really increase. Reciting, memorizing, pondering over it, and gaining understanding. This is really a great reward. But to top it all off, reciting, memorizing, pondering, understanding, and acting according to it. That's the goal. Acting according to it. The Prophet ﷺ said what? Well, Qur'anu hujjatun alayk. And the Quran is a proof for you or against you. I remember Brother Yusha in Maryland. He asked, what is the biggest benefit of memorizing the Quran? And that differs from person to person. But I would definitely say the biggest benefit of memorizing the Quran is that you have proof for yourself against yourself if you try to become weak. Now he's like, I can't do that. You know that verse, that it'll pop out. It'll pop out. Whatever portion, at each portion that you memorize in the Quran, it helps you understand another portion later on. And it strengthens you against you. Forget about everybody else. It strengthens you against you. This is the one, you can reject and say no to everyone. The hardest person to reject and say no to is you. So now, how much do you need to fight what's going on inside that nobody can hear, nobody can see that battle, nobody can see? I'll tell you a story when I first became Muslim. It's a sad story, scary story. I don't know if I should tell the story or not. Okay. I was a new Muslim. And I knew people from the streets from before I was Muslim. They were still doing some things, bad things. And I was a newlywed. My oldest boy, Fubail, was just born. I was in a efficiency apartment. You can say a 1-bedroom. And I was from job to job at this point. Just before I got my job as a teacher. I was from job to job at this point. Factory, temp agencies, like that job. It was a fitna everywhere I went. Either it was a fitna of women, and I would quit. I was working a mail sorter. I'm working, there was a girl working next to me, and I'm like, oh, how you doing? And we're talking as, co-workers and like that. Then she stood next to me like that. So where you going for lunch? I said, no, I brought my lunch. I'm just going here like that. She's like, oh, yeah, because I wanted to ask you something. So I stopped to talk to her. She tried to kiss me on my mouth. So at lunchtime, went in the bathroom. I'm out. I left. I had a job at another factory, paying for it. I'm like, now, I get there. I worked there, was third shift for about 3 weeks. The pay was good. Everything was going fine. Then as I'm working and I'm moving these barrels around, I noticed that the barrels that I was moving around said 80 proof alcohol. I'm moving liquor. I never knew. I'm moving liquor. Now I'm thinking about the Hadith. Curse is the one who pours it, the one who's a pour for, the one who carries it, the one who... I said, I'm moving liquor. I left that. Money was hard. Got a brand new baby boy. And not even 2 years into my marriage, my electric gets cut off. I'm in the dark. Got another third shift factory job. I'm leaving my wife. No, there's no refrigerator. I'm leaving my wife and my boy in the dark. So, Shaitan sent 2 devils Listen. At this time, I was learning 40 hadith. All right, we're going to get to the hadith, inshallah. At this time, I'm memorizing the hadith in which hadith Qudsi, where the Prophet ﷺ said that Allah Ta'ala said, وَإِنْ عِبَادِي جَاءَنِي بِقُرَابِ الدُّنْيَا خَطَايَا ثُمَّ جَاءَنِي لَا يُشْرِكْ بِي شَيْءٍ جِئْتُ لَهُ بِقُرَابَهَا مَغْفِرَةً. If my slave came to me with the whole world of sins, but then came to me, not associating anything as a part with me, I will come to him with equal or more than that forgiveness. So I'm at this hadith. So they came to me. He said, listen, it's a guy. He's going on vacation. He has a safe in his house. It has over $100,000 in it. You don't have to do anything. If you look out, we go in there, we get it, we're going to split it. My lights are off. My lights are off. I'm a newly with my first boy. And I'm like, yeah, if I get that money, I'll go right overseas. I'll just leave. I'll just leave everything. I don't have to work or anything. I'll go overseas and just build me a house and just live, right? How old was I? 20 at the time. So now I'm memorizing this. But there's a hadith that comes before that, number 10 before the hadith. Inna Allah tayyib wa la yaqbal illa tayyib. Indeed, Allah is good and He only accepts that which is good. If you came with many sins, I came to you with forgiveness. Indeed, Allah is good. Wallahi. To tears. Which one has more weight? Which one? If you came with much sins as the whole world, but you came and you didn't commit shirk, Allah will forgive you. But Allah is good, He will accept with the good. Allah is good. So I'm battling with these two. Which one will win? So now the plan is in. The guy's going out of town. The two brothers, they came, listen, what's going on? He leaves this day. That's it. A'udhu billah. Got in the car to go. I'm in the car. We're going to the house. He came and picked me up. We got maybe 6 blocks from my house. They don't know. They're talking about, yeah, man, so what you going to do with yours? And then they're talking about, the money. And in my head, forgiveness. So I completed the first hadith. I completed the second hadith because that was the what I thought was my concession to do it. And then all I got to do is make Tobah and I'm going to be forgiven. But when I completed the first hadith, number 10, it said, indeed Allah is good, He only accepts what is good. And Allah ordered the messengers, He ordered the believers with the same thing He ordered with the believers. He told the believers, when you believe, eat from the good things and do righteous deeds. And He told the messengers, you messengers, eat from the good things we provided for you. And then He mentioned a man. Then the Prophet ﷺ mentioned a man. He was on a long journey. He went on a long journey. He was covered in dust. His hair was all over his head. And then he raised his hands to the sky and said, oh my Lord, oh my Lord. But his food was haram. And his drink was haram. And his clothing was haram. And he was nourished with haram. The Prophet ﷺ said, so how is it possible that his supplication will be answered? I said, let me out. Let me out. Because if you look at the hadith about forgiveness, I know we were talking about Qur'an at first, but if you look at the hadith about forgiveness, yes, that is not a guarantee. Allah, if He wants to, He will forgive you if you come with all of those sins. But now, have you done things that will block the forgiveness? Because now you want to be forgiven, so you have to come clean. But if you come and you're being nourished with things that are haram, that money that you got, you bought clothing that was haram. So now you have blockers on. You have blockers on. Your belly is full with something that's going to block Allah answer. Allah is not looking at you. He's not answering, not accepting it. So that comes when the person doesn't. So a person commits a sin besides making what? Impermissible earnings. Because the impermissible earnings are blockers for supplication being accepted. And from the supplication is what? I seek your forgiveness and I repent to you. So now your food is haram, your clothes are haram, the money in your pockets haram, but you're asking Allah for forgiveness, but you have a blocker, you have something preventing you. So that is what protected me. And then after that, alhamdulillah, Allah opened up the door for me. I got my job as a teacher, teaching at the school, alhamdulillah, and doing the curriculum, it went away. But the whole point is that the more you know, the more protection you have. Imagine if I just heard in the khutbah, the hadith about no matter what, you bring as many sins, you're going to be forgiven. I didn't know about that. Allah only accepts good. Allah is good. He only accepts what is good. Where I'll be right now. Allahu A'lam. The brother that went, may Allah guide us and forgive us all. Ameen. The brother that went, I saw him years later. I didn't see him since the night I got out of the car. I saw him years later. Had 3 clothing stores at the time in Philadelphia. Had a bookstore in Cairo, Egypt. A bakery in Alexandria, Egypt. MashaAllah, all halal money. I'm chilling. I'm traveling back and forth around the world. He pulled up. I'm standing in front of my store because we're redoing the mannequins. Haven't seen him. He pulled up and stopped at the corner. I said, hey, won't say his name. Person. Assalamu alaikum. When they come sit down, he pulled over. Smells like marijuana. Music banging. And I said, what happened, that night? And he went. And at that point, when I saw him, he's running between Cali and Philly. He's a drug dealer. Since that day. He never planned on doing that. He said, get the money. No. He found money, he found drugs, and he got stuck. And since the day I saw him in the store, I said, come around, I want to talk to you about, traveling, going to see. I never saw him again since that day. But he did it. He went and did it, and he got stuck. Never think when somebody's planning to commit a sin, never think they're going to make it out. Don't imagine that, okay, I'm just going to do this last sin. Never plan. We talked about it before, planning sin. No, we just want to do it. And then after that, the brothers of Yusuf tried it. It didn't work. But the more you know about your deen, the more you can protect you from you. Then look at that, how Allah, the flip side, how Allah turned everything around for me. By his permission, I got out of the car. Got out. I don't know where the brother is now. I don't know if he's locked up, dead, or whatever like that. But I got out of the car. And now we're sitting here today. SubhanAllah. No. So that's one of the benefits. So he said, so you're talking about reciting, memorizing, pondering, understanding, and the most important thing, implementing that information into the Qur'an. Now, mashallah. Knowledge is from the provisions of Allah. In every form of provision has sadaqah and zakat. And anything that we have extra of, if we don't give it to others, it's going to make the very least problem we're going to find is that the blessing going to be less in it. So when a person wants more blessings in his money, what? He gives. If he wants more blessings in his time, he sees somebody, I got time, he helps. Whatever you want that you have extra of that you want to be blessed, you have to give it to others. Same thing. Let me say knowledge is from the provisions. And in every person that has some knowledge owes zakat. He owes sadaqah on that knowledge. And the sadaqah or the zakat of ilm is at-ta'aleem, is teaching. And it's like the scholars say, that Allah Ta'ala never, the highest form of knowledge is revelation. And no prophet ever was given revelation and then he didn't call and he didn't give da'wah, didn't teach anybody. So anybody who's given revelation, of course, that ended with the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, who's given revelation was ordered to teach. So anybody who studies revelation is ordered to teach. He has to, jazakallah khair, he has to go and teach. So now teaching while acting on it, while understanding it, while pondering over it, while memorizing it, while reciting it, Allahu Akbar. Good upon good. Good upon good. And we know many scholars of the past. Look at my oldest boy was named after a scholar of the past. His name is Fudail ibn Ayyal. Fudail ibn Ayyal was born Muslim in the Arabian Peninsula, but he wasn't religious when he was young. Fudail was a highway robber. He had the whole Arabian Peninsula afraid of him. They had the caravans traveling, and they would used to say, let's not travel at night because Fudail might be on the road waiting for us. That's how he had everybody scared. And he had a girl he used to go see. Telling his story is not to expose the sins of a scholar, but his story, this is before Allah guided him, while he was a disobedient slave to Allah. He's going to see a girl, climb her fence because he's in a Muslim country. Like that's not acceptable. As he's going to visit, he hears a reciter of Qur'an. This is why Arabic is so important. He heard a reciter of Qur'an reciting that ayah from Surah Al-Hadid. أَلَمْ يَأْنِ لِلَّذِينَ آمَنُوا أَن تَخْشَعَ قُلُوبُهُمْ لِذِكْرِ اللَّهِ وَمَا نَزَّلَ مِنَ الْحَقِّ. Has there not come a time for those who believe that their heart should be full of fear from the remembrance of Allah and that which has came down from the truth? He stopped in mid-stride. He said, yes, my Lord, it's time. Lying down. Made tawbah. And then started just sitting in the masajid, just to be away from the ability to do evil. And he kept sitting in the masajid. Then he began sitting in the circles of knowledge. And like that, and then he came from the major scholars to the point that the rulers used to come to Fudail ibn Iyad and say, we come to you for advice because we know that you're not affected by power or by money. Advise us. They said, other people, we can get them to switch a fatwa. We might, threaten them, either by threatening them or by offering them some money. They'll make a fatwa that agrees with us out of fear of us or out of wanting something from us. But for that, he wasn't shaken by that. What are you going to do? Kill me? Okay, you're going to send me back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Do it. You're going to pay me? You can't give me what Allah ta'ala will give me by rejecting his payment for you trying to make me change his deen. So because he was that way, they had to come to him when they wanted to get admonished and put in their place. They used to come to him and say, put us in a place we've been acting up and we need a reminder. The ruler should come to because that. This is Fudail. Look at where he came from and like that. So but the benefit of that is that he knew Arabic. So when he heard the verse, it hit him. That understanding is what brought him back. SubhanAllah. Nah. So that this is the verse Allah Ta'ala said, so to take it with serious, he's ordered them to do it, and we're ordered the same thing. And not with neglectfulness and laziness. And remember what is in it and ponder over it. Perhaps by doing this, you would have consciousness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Nah. So ikhwa wa akhawat is very important that we ponder, read. If you don't know Arabic, read translation as much as you can. The Noble Qur'an or Sahih International. Read translation as much as you can, and you'll see after a while it's going to stick. The meaning is going to stick until you learn Arabic. You have to do something. Even if you don't know Arabic, you have to do something until you can get there. Never say, well, if I don't know that, then I'm just going to stop here. No, I'm not going to stop here. I'm going to do what I can do until I can do more. No. So we're going to No. So we're going to stop here. Sorry about any questions or anything like that. And then tomorrow we'll be going over Fortress of the Muslim. We thank everybody for attending. I hope that what was said was a benefit and not a harm to anyone who heard it. Ask Allah Ta'ala accept our good deeds, forgive us for our sins, give us sincere intentions, beneficial knowledge, and righteous actions according to the sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Ameen. هذا وصلى الله وسلم وبارك على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله